Coming up on this edition of Seattle Seahawks today, could Seattle be in the market to sign free agent Carl Lawson? ESPN is suggesting the Seahawks do so. We'll dive into that coming up in just a matter of moments. Also, Kenneth Walker III, the Seahawks' third-year running back. He, along with Devon Witherspoon, were a bit disrespected by the folks at Pro Football Network. We'll show you what they had to say and respond coming up in just a little while from right now. Before we do, throughout the offseason, we've been in this sub-battle with the Chiefs report to see who can gain the most subs if we could potentially pass them up before the end of the offseason. We've made up significant ground, but we still got a ways to go to catch up to the Chiefs report. For the latest happenings on your Seattle Seahawks all off-season long, daily news and rumors, live shows twice a week, watch parties during the season, Q&A mailbags, and more. You got to subscribe to the channel now. Let's take down the world champs, and we'll get started with today's show. Let's begin with the latest from ESPN. The mothership is suggesting that the next move for the Seahawks that they need to make, the most important thing they should do next, is sign free agent edge rusher Carl Lawson. ESPN put a list together of everything that all 32 teams should do, and this is what they advised Seattle. Let's listen to what ESPN had to say. The Seahawks could use more camp competition at center for Oluwatimi and Nick Harris, but the remaining free agent centers did not rate well in pressure rate allowed last season. So instead, let me suggest more defensive depth. You can never have too many pass rushers to rotate in. Where have you heard that one before? And while Lawson only played 6 games last season, he's still just 2 seasons removed from his 7-sack year with the Jets. He wouldn't cost much, and there's a good upside there. And think about this, too. Realistically, the Seahawks have question marks when it comes to Derek Hall and Darrell Taylor. Let me explain. Darrell Taylor has not done anything beyond go after the quarterback. He is a liability when it comes to coverage and run defense. And Derek Hall left a lot to be desired as a rookie last year, and we haven't heard a whole lot about him throughout this offseason. So we don't know how those guys are going to perform. Carl Lawson, another depth piece potentially. Wouldn't cost you a ton here. This could make sense for Seattle. Now, although that he's had the recent injury history, he's still not terribly old. As you go back to 2017, he was a 4th-round pick out of Auburn by the Bengals. Recently played for the Jets, was an all-rookie team selection back in 2017. And here's the numbers that we're talking about here. 7 sacks back in 2022. Last year was kind of just MIA, wasn't really involved in the Jets' defense as he had just 5 total tackles in 6 games played. Suffered the ruptured Achilles back in 2021, but 2020, 5.5 sacks, 36 tackles. 6 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles. When you look at the Seahawks outside linebackers and edge options, we know that Uchenna and Boye are very solid. And Uchenna, of course, coming back from injury this year. Draymond Jones, we've heard, is going to move to the outside linebacker spot, but there's still a possibility he could go back on the line as well. So that's not set in stone that that's going to happen. Beyond that, just those question marks with Taylor and Hall, I would feel a lot better to have one more in Carl Lawson, and it would kind of ease things, if you will, that security blanket, if you will, to add to this bunch if he was a part of the rotation here. So more pass rush? You heard it first. You could never have too many pass rushers. Should the Seahawks sign Carl Lawson? Pin comment today. S for side, P for pass. You tell me now. One guy we're excited about in Seattle is Byron Murphy, and his jerseys are on sale now at chatsports.com/Murphy. He'll wear the number 91, so just add a 9 to that. Got the home jerseys, got the road jerseys, men's and women's options available. Free shipping as well. Go see it for yourself. chatsports.com/Murphy. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/Murphy. K9, it's time to get to barking, my guy, because there has been some shade thrown at the Seattle Seahawks running back as the folks at Pro Football Network put together a list of the top 25 players in the NFL under the age of 25, and K9 was left off the list after 2 straight seasons over 900 yards rushing, 1,000-yard season his rookie year, led the Seahawks in rushing the last 2 seasons, and somehow it gets disrespected. Let's run through this list of PFN's top 25 under 25. And there is one Seahawk that we'll talk about, Devon Witherspoon, in just a moment as well. Just going through the list, kind of the usual suspects that you would expect to see, like Gardner, Chase, Pat Surtain, Kyle Hamilton. No surprises there. C.J. Stroud, of course, after a nice rookie campaign. Trevor Lawrence, Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Trent McDuffie. I don't have any problem with the top 10. That's not the issue here. Now, as we start to get a little further, Puka Nacua, Brock Purdy, okay, Creed Humphrey, probably the best center in football. Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, really? Okay, let's keep going further. Sam Laporta's on this list. Okay, Deron Bland, really? Deron Bland we think's better than Kenneth Walker? Bijan Robinson, we've already forgotten about K9. Granted, I am a fan of Bijan Robinson, but we barely even saw him last year, it felt like. Devon Witherspoon at 19, disrespectful. More on that coming up later. Christian Barmore, he won't be in New England much longer. That's a dumpster fire there with the Patriots. Garrett Wilson, actually, I thought was kind of low, personally speaking. I thought he'd be higher than 21. Derek Stingley Jr. over K9? This is getting ridiculous. A couple more names for you. Tyler Smith over K9. Now we're just getting to absurd category here. Martin Emerson on this list ahead of K9. And then Devon Achane. Devon Achane? Are you for real with me? We're putting Achane ahead of our boy Kenneth Walker. Well, might I mention, Achane benefited from a very good offensive line and talent around him there in Miami that put him in a much better situation than what K9 had. There are not 25 players under the age of 25 that are better than Kenneth Walker. And Achane definitely isn't one of them. I can tell you that much right now. Kenneth Walker, second-round pick out of Michigan State a couple of years ago. PFWA All-Rookie Team selection back in 2022. 2 straight seasons where he's led the Seahawks in rushing. And the thing about Kenneth Walker that you're not seeing talked about by the fake news like Pro Football Network and these others, K9's doing everything that's been asked of him. It'd be nice if he stayed a little healthier, okay, but part of that's not his fault. He's been behind a garbage offensive line the last 2 years. You look at the statistics, over 4 yards a carry, 8 touchdowns last year, 9 touchdowns the year prior. He's got the great combination of speed and power both. I like everything that K9's done. I have no complaints from K9. I just find it utterly disrespectful and ridiculous to think that he's not one of the top 25 players in football. And with Zach Charbonnet there, hopefully an improved offensive line, I think there's big things to come from K9 in year 3. Pick a running back. You really think Devon Achane is better than Kenneth Walker III? I don't. I'm typing K9. Who do you think? Type K9 for Kenneth Walker, type DA for Achane. Let's just go ahead and make the diss track right now. Who do I got to call up? Shaq? Dr. Dre? Tell me. Smitty, who's doing our diss track here? Kendrick Lamar. All right, better choice. I should have started with Kendrick Lamar. I was trying to be a little crazy there. But PFN ranked Devon Witherspoon number 19 on their list, as you saw there. And it was just ridiculous that he was 19 on this list. Here was their analysis on Devon Witherspoon from Dallas Robinson, this fraud. Let's see what he said. Rookie cornerbacks usually have much to learn before becoming the player we believe they could be at the NFL level, but that's changed over the past few seasons, and Devon Witherspoon is the prime example. A menace at the college level, Witherspoon excelled from day one with the Seattle Seahawks. His 10 QB pressures ranked second among cornerbacks, and we expect new Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald to continue utilizing Witherspoon as a slot blitzer. Well, listen, Dallas, he's more than just a slot blitzer, okay? This guy's good in coverage. He's good in run defense. Devon Witherspoon does it all. And Mike Macdonald, just a week ago, called him the smartest football player he's ever seen. The mainstream media, the drive-by media, continues to disrespect our beloved Seattle Seahawks here. And I'm tired of it. It's us against the world this season. Look, I know that the Seahawks playing on the West Coast and playing in the Pacific Northwest kind of get ignored about, don't get the respect they deserve. And this is another example of it. It wasn't just K9. It was Devon Witherspoon, too. That's all you got to tell me about Devon Witherspoon? Devon Witherspoon, Pro Bowler last year, led the Seahawks in passes, defended as a rookie, was 16, just flew all over the field. And I'm expecting him to take another huge step forward this year. You see those statistics? Think about this. Devon Witherspoon had a holdout last year. He showed up to training camp late. There was a bit of a learning curve. Now he comes in. I think Devon Witherspoon's ready to rock and roll. And, one of the things that I found disrespectful was when they just called him a pass blitzing corner. Those are pretty good coverage stats last time I checked, just allowing completion percentage of 57.4%. Getting 16 pass breakups. That's a little more than just a corner that can blitz. I'm sure I'm getting a lot out of Devon Witherspoon and Madden when I send the blitzing corner, but he's doing more than that, believe me. Are the Seahawks being disrespected? I think they are. I got to say, the silver lining, though, is that you could come at it as, hey, nobody believes in us and this team plays with a chip on their shoulder. You could use that to your advantage. What do you guys think? Why for yes and for no? It's a hell yes from me. Subscribe now to Seahawks Today for continuing off-season coverage all off-season long. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you tomorrow.